Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Paula. How are you?
Fantastic. So folks, for those that are watching this video with Property on Point with Paula, that's something to say, don't you think? You want to give it a try, Joe?
Property on Point with Paula.
Okay, you made it sound easier. So here we are, Property on Point with Paula. We're gonna shoot the breeze today with Joe Furtado with Zoom Mortgages. Joe's been with Zoom Mortgages since the beginning of his mortgage broker days back in 2016. Some fun facts about Joe. Joe's an introvert. Can you tell? Me, not so much. Aside from Joe being a pretty kick-ass mortgage broker, he's really quite the repertoire of history, coming from being a construction house builder. Is there a proper title for that you gave me once?
A general contractor.
There we go. And before that, you did scuba diving. And before that, or still in tandem, you have your emergency
medical responder.
Multifaceted.
Yes, I get to save people when they're in trouble, and I used to incorporate that with my scuba diving. I was a rescue diver for many years, and if you were near water and you got in trouble, well, you'd want me around.
So we want you around for a few reasons. That's hilarious. But today we want you around to talk about some stuff that's on the table as it relates to lending, mortgages, and more specifically, the stress test. So Joe, let's talk about it. Tell me about this stress test.
Well, a little history. In 2017, if you remember, the real estate market was pretty hot. And all the news agencies were reporting that we're in a big bubble and we needed to do something to control the economy. I personally don't believe we were ever in a bubble, and history shows that we really weren't. It never popped. They're saying the same thing again today, and I think it's a repeat of the same nonsense. We just have a really good mortgage industry in Canada and a really good real estate industry. So in 2017, the government decided that they needed to slow down the housing industry. They wanted to prevent this bubble from bursting, so they came up with a concept of a stress test. In Canada, you're allowed to carry a certain percentage of your income as shelter costs. So if you're making $50,000 a year, you can't spend all $50,000 on your shelter and your food, obviously. So they set limits to this. Now, what the government did was they said, let's pretend that rates aren't what they are. Let's come up with a number that the rates we think may be in a few years and qualify folks at that rate. In case rates go up, then no one's going to lose their home. So good idea. It protects clients. Brilliant. Bad idea because it also eliminates a lot of marginal clients from getting financing. That was 2017. It's rolled on in various incarnations of this stress test with various percentages. And last spring, when COVID started to hit, we were actually on a downward trend of that stress test. So we'd have qualified clients. The lowest was 4.74%. So even if their mortgage was at 2.5%, we'd have to pretend that the rate was 4.74% and see if they could carry that obligation. What they've done this year is they raised it to 5.25%. That's almost half a percentage point higher. Now that's significant. That automatically eliminates a whole bunch of people from purchasing a home, from being able to afford a home. Mm-hmm. I've seen a lot of news people going on about how it really affects first-time buyers, and it eliminates that because the biggest change was including the contract plus 2% notion into the first-time buyer market. You see, if you had 20% down, you had to qualify at 5.25%, or your contract rate plus 2 points. Mm-hmm. As an example, if you got a rate of 2%, I'd have to qualify you at 4.5%, or sorry, at 4%, or 5.25, whatever is higher. So in essence, because of today's lower rates, everybody has to qualify at 5.25. when they included first-time buyers in that as well, people said, oh, this is going to knock a lot of first-time buyers out of the market. It didn't do that.
No.
Because before they had to qualify at the benchmark Canada rate, which was, I believe, 4.74, or the contract rate, whichever was higher. All they've changed really is add that contract rate plus 2 points. But given that rates are so low, the higher of those two is invariably the 5.25%.
Yeah.
So it didn't really affect first-time buyers as much as they're saying.
Yeah.
It actually affected everybody just by raising the benchmark rate from 4.74 to 5.25%.
100%.
Actual numbers on a $300,000 mortgage, that would carry for just under $1,300 a month. Now with this at 2%, so now at 5.25%, we have to assume your payment's going to be just under $1,800 a month. Yeah. So we have to assume an extra $500 a month carrying costs on a $300,000 mortgage. And that is significant. Yeah. Because that makes it unaffordable for a lot of Canadians.
Yeah, understood. So do you have any advice for people looking to enter the market today?
Oh, absolutely. Advice. The best bit of advice I can give anyone is contact a mortgage broker first. Sit down virtually, have a conversation, do what it takes to figure out where you are financially, because not all lenders use the same rates. Rate isn't the end all and be all of mortgages. You may get a great rate, but it could be a horrible product that doesn't suit you at all. I think it's more important to fit the right product with the right client and not worry so much about rate, because your mortgage broker will shop around for rates for you anyway.
Yeah. So let's just clean up some of the language for folks that are unfamiliar. Products, people. Products are the packages that a lender will give you with a rate, payment structure, amortization. That's called a product.
Yes, and discharge terms, any conditions associated with is a product, because it really is a product you're purchasing. It's not just a loan. It's stipulated at the beginning, and there's a lot of fine print in a mortgage contract.
For sure. And with your experience up until today, would you say that your experience of first-time home buyers is a struggle, or would you say that they're finding their way happily, joyfully, seamlessly?
It's somewhere in between. Some people have no trouble at all. Well, some people have no trouble at all. Other people really, really struggle. But those folks who are struggling, I have all kinds of creative ways to get them financed. Nothing illegal, nothing untowards. We're completely transparent with our lenders and with our clients. Yeah. So we're obligated to get our client the best rate possible, but also the best product for them. We don't want to put anyone in hardship. We also have a responsibility to our lenders, because we want to keep them in business, because without them, nobody can afford to buy a house. Amen. So we walk the tightrope where we try to keep both satisfied.
That's beautiful, Joe. Beautiful. Thank you. Anything else you want to share with us about the stress test? Perhaps maybe how the media is presenting it and how it actually is?
Well, the media loves drama. The more outrageous the story is, the more upset people get, the more clicks you get, the more advertising you can sell. So it's their job to make things, if not interesting, then maybe scary. A little scary. We all like to be scared a little once in a while.
Yeah.
But it just drives more business to people like myself, people who want to help consumers get into the market, people who want to help people find their perfect dream home and find a way to make it affordable.
For sure.
And like I said, even if people don't have all the down payment, there are programs available where we can get them up to that level. And there are lenders who have different requirements. So even if you've been turned down by your bank, it's not the end of the world. I
have a dog beside me, sorry.
Your credit score can affect your mortgage insurance as well. And just last year, CMHC raised their minimum beacon scores on mortgage insurance. They're they've gone up significantly. But we have two other insurers who kept their rates the same. So even if you get denied on a high ratio mortgage with 5% down by CMHC, it's not the end of the world. Speak to a mortgage broker.
For sure.
We have the experience, we have the tools to make things happen for you.
100%. And if anybody out there has any questions about what is the CMHC, or what is this premium, or what is house insurance or deal insurance or lending insurance, Joe, can you just speak to that for a second?
Absolutely. If you're purchasing a house, you require 20% down payment, 20% of the purchase price of your own funds. It can't be borrowed. Given the price of houses, a lot of people don't have the 20% to put down. There are programs that will guarantee that loan for the lender. You can come in with as little as 5% down. And in the case of CMHC, it's a government organization, so the government will insure that loan against default. That allows lenders to offer much lower rates because their risk is much lower. But that comes with a premium. Typically 4% of your mortgage value, you'll have to pay in a premium for that insurance. And that gets tacked onto the mortgage typically because CMHC requires payment in advance. So your lender will cover that for you and just add it to the cost of the house, which reduces how much you can borrow slightly and creates a whole chain of events in the calculations. So see a mortgage broker. We do all of that for you. You just have to provide a lot of paperwork, answer a bunch of questions, and let us do the legwork for you.
For sure.
And in most cases, the lender will pay us a finder's fee, so there's no cost to most of my clients.
Perfect. That's awesome. So let's connect the dots for people who are listening. At the end of the day, anything related to money and a house, you get to talk to Joe.
Excellent.
Let's simplify it for you folks. Talk to Joe. And now, how do you get to talk to Joe? Part of this video, once you watch this video, Joe's information will be translated. It will also be available on our Facebook page. You can reach Joe on LinkedIn. Joe's contact information is attached to the video. And so if you have any questions, comments, concerns about solidifying a mortgage for yourself, considering making a purchase, considering upsizing, where you will have to qualify again, or refinancing, Joe.
Best way to get hold of me, all my contact information is on my website, Joe Furtado.za. And yeah, that's the best way to get hold of me. You can put in an application right from the website. You can send me a message, shoot me a text. I get back to people pretty quickly. And most of all, I enjoy working with people. I enjoy the challenge of finding someone a way to get the house that they want or get the condo they want. Why pay someone else's mortgage by renting?
Boom. That's
Buy
what
while
I
you
say.
still can.
I always say to my first-time home buyers, when they're positioning themselves to make their purchase, I'm like, hey folks, you could be renting your whole life, but why not manage yourself? Create a strategy so that you can be your own homeowner, not be house poor, and be successful, because it gets to be done and everybody has the power to do it. Maybe not today, but in time. So Joe's that guy. I want to share with you folks before we leave this video and before we say goodbye to Joe. Speaking from firsthand, Joe's been looking after my first home buyers for almost 1.5 years now. And we've gone through some pretty special scenarios and we've been successful. So for those that are naysayers or full of doubt or have fear, you don't need to, because I'm here to help you and you've got Joe. So without further ado, thank you so much, Joe, thank you, Joe, for your time. Thank you for doing this first video with me, and I get to see you this afternoon at our networking meeting.
Thank you,
final
Paula.
thoughts, Joe?
Well, if you're afraid of money, don't be afraid of borrowing. Let me worry about dealing with the banks. All you have to do is deal with me.
Perfect. That's an excellent final thought. Thank you so much, Joe. Have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you this afternoon.
Thank you, Paula. Bye now.
Have a good day.